Sorry.
What are you laughing at? That's not funny.
I need a redo. I need a redo, people.
A redo. You need a redo.
I look up, there's nobody here.
I thought I did it.
I thought I did it.
I did it.
That was great. Hello, welcome to the OMICC, where we advocate services in District 11. This is great.
Yes, it is.
Okay, now I lost some folks. Anyway, we're gonna. My computer is dying. Hold on, I got 11%. Let's start off with introductions. My name is Delia Fitzpatrick, OMI Community Collaborative. Today is August 4th. Al Harris, start us.
Al Harris, OMI Family Resource Center.
Very good. Nice to see you. Monica?
Ridgelake Neighbors, Monica. Yeah.
Yes.
Not Monica.
Right.
Can't say it. Okay.
Right.
Moving on.
All right. Mary Evelyn Thomas.
Mary Evelyn Thomas, our special place child care, OMI.
Yes. All right. Sophia.
Everyone, Sophia from Youth Art Exchange.
Say that again.
Youth Art Exchange.
All right. Nice to see you. Alita.
Hi, Alita Fisher, District 11 Democratic Club and Community Advisory Committee for Special Education, and parent of a Denman 6th grader.
Ooh, representing.
All right.
All right, Jackie.
Hi there, Jackie Severino from Sunlight, filling in for Teresa DiDios. I oversee COVID. I oversee Jose Ortega, IT Bookman, and Sheridan after school programs.
Okay.
Great.
Very good. Nicholas, state your name.
I'm Nicholas with Delia this summer.
Very good. A fellow District 11 resident. Very good. Bonnie?
Bonnie Shirk, Life Frames Inc., and OMI Excelsior Living Library and Think Park, working with schools and communities in the 11.
Renard?
Also known as Mary Evelyn Thomas, representing all the child cares in the OMI district. I'm Renard Monroe with Youth First, exhausted, tired, all of the above.
All right. Maurice Rivers is on the phone. And Patty, state your name, where are you from?
Patty Clement with Catholic Charities, and I've been having trouble with my computer too, so I'm not using video.
Oh, okay. Helen?
Happy Tuesday, this is Helen from Ocean View Ranch Library.
All right. Laura Padilla? Muted.
Hello, everyone. Laura Padilla with Mission YMCA, the fiscal sponsor for the OMICC. I'm also an OMI resident. And yeah, that's me.
All right. And then we have Mary Harris.
Hi, Mary Harris. All my neighbors in action.
All right. I think I got everybody. Let me make sure. All right. Let's start with Laura. Laura, you have anything to report?
All right, so I did update, I didn't close the survey that I sent out last week. So if you have some time today, please take a look at that survey. I'll try to send it again here on this chat. And let us know your thoughts around the $14K that we have allocated for our community action grants. So any ideas, things that you feel the community is in need of? They're very simple, open-ended questions, so we could get some feedback and some conversations set up for next week.
The link has been added to the chat.
Perfect, thank you.
Anything else?
No updates around funding. I have been doing a little bit of reading into the budget and trying to kind of dig through the weeds on MOHCD's portion.
Okay.
That is all I have for today, unless y'all have questions.
Any questions? Okay. All right. Thank you. Felicia, you want to state your name? Where you're from? All right. Name? Felicia? Thibodeau?
Felicia.
Yes, Felicia.
You said name, I said Felicia.
All right. Where
Felicia
you from?
Thibodeau, Southwest Community Corporation at IT Bookman.
Very good. All right. Monica Chinchilla.
Hey, happy what day? Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Hope you guys are staying warm in this cold day. Were we just doing intros or are we diving in?
Do your intro.
Okay. Monica Chinchilla from Supervisor Asha Safai's office, District 11.
Very good. All right. Okay. Go on and do your report because I think we're done with intros.
Okay, that's fine. Report today is pretty short. First, like how Laura was mentioning, the budget. So combing through everything, seeing what changes to our organizations in D11 that has occurred. And so I'm combing through each department, but if you have already learned of any changes into your budget, please let me know just so we can make sure to advocate for that. We have a deadline of Friday to submit our requests to the budget chair by Friday, and so I'm trying to finalize the preliminary list today and tomorrow, so we can get that out because everything's going to be considered in one pot in terms of add backs. In addition to that, we have testing that's occurring starting this week within the community. So very excited about that and working with many of the leaders on this call just to make sure that we're really targeting the outreach to the African American community and get everything ready to make it successful for here in the OMI. So those are just the two main things today. If there's any other questions or concerns, please let me know.
I think I have a question. As far as the outreach for the testing on Friday, how are we doing? I mean, other communities are provided with with paid employees to do publicity and help man the sites.
So for other sites, they're not. I checked in with a few of the other sites in terms of kind of, okay, who provides the resources for outreach and employees, and DPH covers just the infrastructure and people needed to test. In terms of the outreach and volunteers, et cetera, it's upon the community to organize that. Mm-hmm. So we had a call yesterday with some of the leadership yesterday, and we're having another one to check in today at 3:00 just regarding, outreach. We have a flyer created that we'll start getting out. We have a good chunk of volunteers already signed up. Now it's just making sure we get the word out. And so it is a very community-led and driven initiative, which is the right way to make it successful because we want to make sure that we're targeting folks within the neighborhoods. But yes, we don't get any supports for now from DPH in terms of providing for that.
How are they being trained?
So DPH will be providing training to the volunteers on site. They're going to be trained in pre and post testing, counseling. We'll also have service providers on site who will be connecting people who are getting tested to, senior services, to youth and employment. If they have to recover, they can get more information about the Family Relief Right to Recover program. And so part of our job as, as a community hub is to make sure that we have the CBOs that are serving our neighbors on site so that they can make those connections there.
Mary, you had a question?
Well, it's just, we haven't seen the flyer. Are you sending that out? Who are these volunteers and how many do you have? Do you need other people from the community? When are they getting trained? At 3 o'clock today?
No. So I will get that information to you, Delia, later today in terms of I've created the Google Sheet of what volunteers have signed up, etc. When the training will occur. It's very, DPH is, they're moving forward, but in terms of that logistic of the time, well, we're getting trained on Friday, but in terms of what time that training starts, I will let you know. And in terms of other volunteers, yes, we will need other volunteers on board. And so I can definitely send that need list out to you all later today.
Mary, was that all your questions?
Well, it's just, we had a call previous to this one, and there just was a lot of concerns being raised, like how many people are getting tested? How are people going to find out about it? What if there's a greater need? Does that mean that we'll get another testing implemented? We just had a lot of things because it's like in 3 days, and none of NIA people know about it. I don't know how other people in the community know about it. Is it being translated? It's just, we don't want to hold anything up, but we also want to make sure that everything is covered, that we have enough volunteers, that they're trained, everybody's safe, and that people that really need to know about it know about it.
Yes, no, definitely. There is a big organizing effort that's been going on since last week when we got the word on Friday. So I will share a bigger update with you all later today. Just kind of, I have a Google Doc that's being put together in terms of what organizations are going to be on site, who's the volunteers. We are testing for Friday, we're testing up to 250 individuals, and the hours are testing from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And the flyer was just created yesterday, so we're getting that out there today in the community. So you will have all that information in the next couple of hours.
And do people need to pre-register?
No, it's walk up.
It's walk up?
Yeah.
And is priority given to?
We are, so a bunch of the leaders as well are going to the Mission Hub tomorrow just to kind of see how they operate their site. They have a whole system where they pull out seniors and, we can have a senior hour. And so we're finalizing all those kind of logistics today because we want to make sure that we keep our seniors safe. And so we will be kind of finalizing that whole action plan later today and tomorrow, but just to make sure that everything's efficient, we're social distancing, whether or not it's going to be drive up versus walk up or hybrid, all that's being ironed out today.
Where is it going to be located physically?
50 Broad.
Oh.
Okay, great. But I know, there's still a lot of stuff up in the air. They gave us the word on Friday, so we're doing the best we can to make sure we get it taken care of and we do it right. And we are confident that it will be done. And, this is just the first week, and then we have the next week and the following week as well. And so I will provide more details to you all later today.
So Monica is the, I pronounced your name wrong. Is the supervisor's office spearheading this? Are you guys the one organizing it and putting it together, or is it DPH?
DPH is providing the testing. The supervisor, as well as many of the leaders within the OMI, the Lakeview, particularly focused on the Black community, have been, working with DPH and the Human Rights Commission for weeks. We've been working for months, and then it's been really, momentum has started to grow the last few weeks since the data is really on our side. And so it is a collective effort by the supervisor's office and many of the organizations.
As we were working together to get the volunteers out for the Resilient OMI, are they involved in this too, or is it a separate thing? Because
Resilient OMI is not involved yet. We still are. We still need to reach out to additional organizations to let them know, to sign volunteers up. Again, this is the first one, so we're trying to do what we can just to make sure we get a successful launch, and then we are definitely want to make sure that we bring in our other OMI partners who can help with that volunteer support.
I can understand that you, since it's a medical thing, sort of, you're doing testing and stuff, that you want people trained to come in.
Well, not necessarily, because the roles that they would be doing is more like community ambassadors, like who are people that are gonna make people feel welcome. Can they provide that training before test? Can they provide that support before testing and afterwards about how to get connected to services, answering any questions? And so that's more the role of our volunteers. They're not doing any medical procedures. DPH is taking care of all that. It's just, they're more community ambassadors helping with that.
Yeah, because I know that OMI Resilient reached out to get volunteers all over the place, and so maybe you could connect up with them because they already have the database, I think.
Yeah, well, that'd be
great. Have said I'm interested.
Okay, perfect.
That's all. That's great. Wonderful. It's going to happen.
Well,
it's been a while.
Well, we had a meeting with Resilient an hour ago or less than. And we talked with Jackie Ortiz. Mary, do you remember where she's from? I don't remember. Okay. So we talked with her, and she's working with the COVID-19 disaster, the central location, and she was willing to canvass the OMI on our behalf if we had a flyer. And she wanted to put up signs. So if we have the flyer, could we, can you provide it so, later on, so that we get the word out? Our concern is that it's only 250 slots and them not being enough. And since it's to the public, it seems like it's at a short notice. It's not giving enough time for even the word to get out, but we will work with the hand we've been given, but would like to get the flyer and get the flyer.
Yeah, no, definitely. I have another meeting at 3 o'clock just to kind of get finalized and approval of the flyer, and then as soon as that's done, I will give it out to you all.
All right. And anything else? Helen, you have a question? Helen Ming? Yes? Speak. Oh, Helen's question is, the testing center, will it be available on the website?
I don't know.
Doubt it.
I don't know, but I will get that answer.
Okay. Any other questions for Monica?
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of questions regarding it. Yeah, they just gave us a final word Friday, so we're moving fast, and we will have a good launch. And it may, 250. Yes, we know it's not going to be a lot, and so once we're able to, meet those numbers and we can show the demand, we'll definitely push for more. And we're already pushing for a permanent site within the OMI as well. So there's a lot of things going at once, but we're very happy finally after months. And since the data has shown from day one how severely impacted our community is, we're grateful to get this resource in our community now.
Okay. All right.
Monica, do we know how many Fridays this will be? Is it, you mentioned 3, is it 3 and then review, or what?
No, it's more like we're looking at 4. We're looking at 4 initially, and then adding a permanent location. And so working with DPH to make that happen. Yeah. It's the octopus arms, many things at once. But it's going to be, we're not anticipating that this is an asset we'll only have for a few weeks, then it's going to be. No, it's going to be a long-term resource that's here. We just have to make sure we have the right spaces and adjust depending on whatever needs we have or that arise.
Monica, is this going to go into Asha's newsletter tomorrow, the one that he puts out every day? That would be a good way to contact people. I mean,
We're doing it. The newsletters, we've reduced frequency to from Monday and Friday. So we'll definitely put out in the Friday one. There is some concern because, you know, in talking with other hubs as well, that once you blast it out to everyone, you lose the target that you're really trying to reach. And so we really want to make sure that we're prioritizing getting the African American community and Latinx community served, and making sure that, you know, we have that outreach strong in there first, and then, you know, spreading out to the general public. Yeah, that will be coming. It's just a matter of timing and expanding your reach.
Felicia, what are you doing, girl?
What do you mean?
Mike.
Typing.
Mike.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was putting something to Monique in the chat. I didn't realize I wasn't on mute.
No problem. Oh, and then one other thing, Helen, I'm not sure if you made this announcement, but, you know, the Library to Go programming is going to be opening up in the Excelsior starting on the 11th. And so it's a big thing for our district. You know, after the main branch, they chose D11 to kind of provide those services. And so it's just the beginning. And we're excited to, you know, have services stored there, and then also look at, you know, getting these resources to the OMI, the Ocean View branch as well.
Yeah, so it will be open 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Tuesday to Saturday, starting August 11th.
What's the hours again?
10 to 5:30 p.m. Tuesday to Saturday.
Okay, Tuesday to Saturday. All right.
Perfect. All right, everyone. A lot to do this week, but, you know, it'll be great week, great victories. So I will keep you all informed and get you information later today.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Helen. Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Helen.
Well, I've been trying to get in and let you guys know, because I announced this at the other meeting with Dahlia, that there might be a little snag in starting Friday over here at 50 Broad Street with Catholic Charities, because apparently there's much more approval that has to happen. The Archdiocese has autonomy over the parking lot. My main office, our ED, wants to make sure they've got the liability insurance and that people are trained and stuff, and also an agreement of what is expected. So who knew all these people had to get involved to use a parking lot? But because it's a private parking lot, I guess there might be a snag or two.
Wow.
Maybe you should tell that to Monica. She will.
Yeah. As the world turns, we got.
Yeah, I'm talking to her right now.
Okay. Very good. Well, keep us posted. Let's see, we have census information. Let's see, there was a meeting. I forgot what day it is. It was a meeting on Monday. They are planning a census caravan on Saturday, August 22nd from 12 to 4 through the OMI. And Claudel is working on this initiative with us. There's different ways that we're going about this. I know Joyce from IT Bookman will be making phone calls to the seniors. They have incorporated a raffle for a $100 gift card. Mary, Evelyn Thomas, and Monique Goodry will be also getting the survey out to the child care community. And there's also a raffle prize for that that Claudel will be providing. And along with that, Maurice will be providing the flyers. The flyer man will be providing the flyers for the census. And as far as volunteers, I know that Maurice will be working with, is trying to work with Opportunities for All to make sure that we have youth from the OMI helping us outreach, helping us with the caravan, helping us in all ways census. Anybody have any questions? Maurice looks like he has added the caravan route, which looks like it will start from Lakeview, travel to Sunnydale, then to Hunters Point, Potrero Hill, the Mission, and Fillmore. And he will provide additional information when he has it. Are there any organizations that need flyers, materials? Felicia? No?
Sorry, I was on mute that time. What was your question?
It was about the flyers for the census. Do you need any?
Yes.
You do need some.
Yeah, okay. I could print my own though. I mean, if they're just printable or if they're if they were already created. I'm not sure.
Let me see if I know there's a link for the census information. But Claudette,
I've been in our meal packages and information like once a month. I have been working with someone from the census. I think her name was Teresa, but don't quote me on that.
Okay.
She had been sending me information, and so we have been continuously, like ever since COVID, once a month at least, encouraging the seniors through. She had sent me some stuff, so I have it on my email. Okay. So I was printing it and putting it in the bins. I don't know if there's a new flyer like urgent with the new expedited date of September 30th or whatever that date is and stuff.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I just requested it from Claudel, and he was trying to get someone to get back to me about it.
So that had been my issue. I have been requesting, and then they finally sent me some things, but I know now that they have chosen a drop dead end date or something of September something. I was reading it, but I haven't seen a flyer. That was just an email.
Thank you, Maurice, for adding the link. Are there any other questions for the group? As far as the budget ask, the letter, the grid has been given to Supervisor Safai's office. I was on a call last night with the San Francisco Black-led organizations, and someone from Sandra Fewer's office was on there, Chelsea, and she was going through the basics of the ask of, how the process for advocating for funds from the offices. And her whole thing was send us the grid so we know what you want, and make sure that it's in a format that we can digest. So I also sent it to her again, just to make sure that they got it. And then I had another conversation with the Human Rights Commission, and they said, no, send all the requests to us. So I sent it to them also. So the grid is going around of basically the ask for the community. But just, there is another survey that they're asking for if you wanted to advocate for your own organizations yourselves. But Chelsea, I can send the email for Chelsea to send your grid if you wanted to send your own. If you have a whole different request, you can obviously advocate on your own. But it was just interesting that I'm getting different acknowledgements from different people in government. Of course, nobody knows what they're doing, but it's just a matter of following the people. So each meeting, I'm getting like a new contact to send information to. So it's a interesting chain of events this year. Laura, I got your message. Let me see if I can find here. I can put it in the chat. The link to the city survey for budgets. So I just put it in if you want to click on it and ask. I think that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. All right. Renard, what'd you think of that DCYF meeting? Just before you fell asleep, just before, tell us what you thought.
Yeah, well, you heard yesterday, I gave my thoughts during the meeting. But it's just like you just said, we're running around in circles, and every city department, they're giving us a lot of lip service, a lot of standards and mandates, but they actually don't even know what they're doing themselves because they're trying to get all of our ideas. So it's exactly what I told you guys months ago. It's like, we're doing all this work, like we're working harder since the COVID-19 has started than we worked before this, right? And a lot of people are exhausted, and all these ideas and all of these things that they're mandating and all these things and it's going to change in 2 weeks, right? The assessments and all of these things is going to get pushed back. So for me, I'm just like, I just wish everybody on these Zoom calls and all these meetings would just start being honest. And that's all I said yesterday. It was like, no disrespect. Like they're asking us CBOs to be guinea pigs. And okay, if we're meeting right now, which normally we would be in person to have these meetings, right? If we're meeting, the schools aren't safe, right? Schools aren't safe, and you can't tell us how to keep it safe. So you're trying to get ideas and all these types of things. If schools aren't open and in person, then why are you asking the CBOs to go out there and be the first ones to be the test dummies? And I feel like keeping our staff and ourselves and our families should be first and foremost. The safety should be our main target, right? Serving the community definitely is important, but the safety of our community is important. If we start spreading the COVID around our communities, then what will we do?
Right.
And nobody's just being honest. So what I feel about the meeting, I didn't went all around it. I just feel like I'm just sick and tired of us being dishonest. Let's really be honest on all these calls so we actually can figure out a way to get through this. We're not being honest, So.
And I think we're expected to produce this product or produce this service so quickly. And I do appreciate that they said that they will be providing the mass purchasing of the PPE. That's a given, which they should have. They're not offering that information. That's a good thing, right? Yeah. But the most annoying thing to me was, how do you have a meeting and there's 4 different breakout sessions to talk to other people? And I was just like, you obviously don't have nothing on your agenda to talk about because you don't know what you're doing. But
that was my point that I made, is like when they were like, for a few questions, I just have a statement, like, those breakout sessions are fine if we're in normal times, right? Yeah. This is not normal times. So these breakout sessions, I would have expected a department head to be on that call as well. Delia, right. Like, where was Maria Sue? Like, no disrespect to everyone else, but I didn't hear from the people who make decisions. And, there was a lady who was proctoring the call, like, she used to work for me. Like, so for me, I'm sitting there listening like, she's giving me the protocols. Like, she's giving me the protocols of how I should keep my kids safe and the community safe, like, I'm just not trying to hear that right now. I mean, no disrespect. It's like, we're not being honest. And that means we're putting people in harm's way.
Right.
And that's not right. You know what I mean? It's just not right. So my frustration is at an all-time high is with our dishonesty with all of our city departments. Like, we don't know what we're doing. We don't have like one set of guidelines that we all should be following, how we should approach things. Like, everything is being made up. Like, how many Zooms are you doing a day? I mean, on the average, I'm doing 4.
Yeah.
So
5.
I can just imagine what everybody else on this call is doing. Like, Sophia and Jackie and Felicia, Laura, Alita. I mean, we really need to be honest so we can filter this down to other people. I know Maurice is working very hard on the census, and we have so many things and it's multifaceted problems. But if we don't have the proper way to attack this, then we're just going to be in the same situation. It's August. Like, when you said August 4th, I'm just sitting here like, wow, it's August. Like, you guys remember when this first started in March where we were? Like, this is August now. And it's worse now in August than it was in March. So I'm just trying to figure this out. Like, as a human being, to forget work, forget as a community, but like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? And I can't give people honest answers. Like, what is our plan? It's going to change tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's going to change tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I don't know who I'm sending information to. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. If you're asking me stuff, email. If I don't know you personally, it's kind of hard for me to even send stuff out. Like, everyone's asking, well, send me this or send me that. I'm like, who is this? Like, I don't even remember who I'm on the Zoom call with. Like, I'm getting lost. I'm trying to write all this stuff down and keep my notes, but like, it's just a lot going on.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
It is for everybody. Maria Sue just sent me an email about an hour ago wanting to meet. And she was like, we want to use your whole facility. I was like, my whole facility is not up for a learning hub.
Yeah, I that's my fault, Delia. She contacted me, and I just specifically threw you and Felicia under the bus, as well as Laura. I'm like, hey, don't just come at me. Listen, you hear me? There's other people I work with. I need you to reach out to Delia, Felicia, and Laura, you know, and if you need like direction on our community, I need you to reach out to Mary Harris. And she's like, okay, Renard, you know, because she's been throwing my name out in meetings. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to throw out some other people's names. So I can kind of clear myself.
Need you to get my name out your mouth.
Hey, I just had to be honest. I'm like, hey, IT Bookman is right down the street. Like, I just got to be honest, you guys. Like, when they come talking to me, I start naming all type of names. Don't get me in another light. I'm going to start talking. Yes, I was with Delia yesterday. She is open. So I'm just being honest.
My
if
board
you partner with me. I'm giving your name up, your organization, and it's time to call you.
We will tread through this field of nonsense together. But yeah, my board is like, Delia, what did you say? And I was like, I didn't say nothing.
Tell them Renard sent them. I'm being honest. Laura, you're next. Teresa's not on the line, but Jackie, you can let her know. I threw Teresa out there. I've been telling everybody. Like,
yeah,
publicity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's good. So we have momentum. They know who to reach now. And I think if we could, sorry to say, like another meeting or another Zoom to really strategize what is our message to Maria Sue, because you, like Renard, you said, you know, you got me, you got Delia, we have Jackie on the calls representing Teresa from IT Bookman, Sheridan, and Jose Ortega, and really put out an ask. Like, if she wants to talk to us, let's be prepared and be like, this is what we need in regards to learning hubs or funding, whatever it is that she wants to have a conversation about. I think we go in there prepared. And so maybe having like a little subcommittee.
So right now, what they're trying to do the most, Laura, is they're trying to secure all these buildings. They're trying to get as many facilities as they can, so we can serve as many kids as we can. That's the main thing.
for free. They want to do it for free.
Yeah, and they're not trying to give us any money other than what is already available to us. I'm just being honest with you there. I mean, that's why I was like, oh, okay, well, hold on. Talk to Delia, talk to, they're like, they're not trying to help us accomplish this stuff. They're just like, we'll help you get internet service and those type of things, but they're not trying to really help us with staffing. And I told her the main issue, and I know you guys will back me with this, and I said it yesterday, is the staffing model. Okay. How do we pay everybody a real wage for that amount of hours?
Right.
Okay. And then on top of them, let us as executive directors and directors and people who work with our people, our teams, let me be able to look them in the eye and tell them honestly, I can keep you safe as well.
Right.
And I'm going to put all of these things in place to make sure that you are safe.
Right.
So those are the things. If they can't do both of those, like help us with a staffing model, make sure that we can pay them a real living wage, not a getting by wage.
Correct.
Okay. And keep them safe. I'm all in. I'm not all in if we can't do that.
And the reason why I asked about the 25%, them only allotting that 25%, is because they've only communicated that 25%, but we need more than that to make this thing go. So we're going to run out of money by the time we get to January. At this rate.
Maybe before that, November. About November.
Well, I thought the schools were supposed to be able to give, didn't they say the schools had more money to help make this happen? You guys can't do this without more money. That's ridiculous.
I know.
Patty, they aren't, the San Francisco Unified is pretty much going like this.
Yeah.
You know when Donald Trump does this, he's getting ready to tell us a bunch of lies. Like San Francisco Unified is like, you guys, you can't use the facilities.
Right.
Don't come here with it. Just you guys stay over there.
Yeah.
Okay? And let us know how it goes. I mean, that's what they're doing right now.
Well, yeah, I'm on the reopening task force for the school district. And, right now the struggle is they're getting all of the 122 facilities that are schools right now set up, to open themselves. So that's why, there's construction, they're inventorying every classroom. We've got schools that don't even have working soap dispensers in the bathroom. How the hell you think, pardon my language, how the heck you think we're going to be able to, make sure that everyone has the hand sanitizer and hand washing that they need. So there's a lot of work on the district side. I don't know if you guys saw, there's the Association of School Board something. That's nice as I'm swearing in front of children. That's awesome. Sorry.
It's all right. We talked about tequila last week. No.
They're asleep.
Okay, good. But they put together this infographic about what it's going to cost to reopen schools. And they're estimating that, between building, plexiglass barriers or buying thermometers, reduce staffing levels, all the extra PPE, it's going to cost about $500 per student to get set up to reopen. And so to ask our CBO partners to do all the same thing without any additional funding is setting us all up for bankruptcy, in my opinion. So I think that's an unfair ask. And as a parent at a school, we had a PTA meeting last Friday. We've got all these parents looking at pandemic pods, and it's the huge inequities there. That's a whole nother conversation. But one of the solutions to that is to potentially partner more strongly this year with the after school program, right? But if our CBO partners that were after school programs also then have to turn around and work with DCYF at these community learning hubs, you guys are going to be pulled in so many different directions that neither is going to be effective, right? So we really, really, really all need to start collaborating on this, really. School opens in 2 weeks.
I want to point something out that hasn't been mentioned yet, and it's something that I've mentioned in the past, and that is the outdoor learning environments that exist, which are healthier than the buildings. The school district is focused primarily on the buildings. I haven't heard anything about the outdoor spaces. And Laura, I'd like to be on that call or Zoom or whatever that you're going to set up with Maria Sue, because in addition to buildings for the hubs, we should be looking at the outdoor environments, which are, and there are many that are established that are beautiful and healthy and can be used. And at Denman, I want to speak with you, Alita, offline, because we've got a lot going on at Denman, which I want you to know about, which you may not know about. But anyway.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, so let's do that offline.
The one thing I want you guys to understand too about the learning hubs, and Delia, I hope you picked up on this, is that say I'm opening up Merced Heights or Lewis Sutter Playground for a learning hub, okay? Doing that, I don't get to choose what children come there.
Right.
DCYF chooses which kids gets the access to the hub, which I think is crazy.
Yeah.
Because they don't know the dynamic or the makeup of your community and who needs those services. So for me, it's so many conversations that need to be had to make things work. And Alita, you're right. The collaboration that we've started here is important, but the collaboration within all is going to be the most important, you know, and that's going to be the biggest issue, because getting everybody on not the same page, but just a similar page is going to be it's just going to be difficult. Like
just reading the same book, even. How about that?
Exactly. I mean, if you know, you're on page 5, I'm on page 79, and we're talking 2 different things about what's going on. I see it, we hear it. Delia, I know you picked up on that yesterday. Bonnie, you were on that call. I saw you.
I was there. there.
So I know I heard you talk about your outdoor spaces yesterday, and it is important, but the physical building space, and I'm not arguing with you, Bonnie, the outdoor space is definitely what we need, but we also need that building space because we are in San Francisco, because it's freezing sometimes out here.
We need it
It
all.
starts to rain. Like, I'm an outdoorsy person, but you know, it's some days where at Merced Heights, I can't even see, you know, I live right here as well. So I can't even see my car sometimes looking out my window.
Well, at the very least, we need a bathroom. No,
Which was going to bring me in a tent. But Alita said something very important is with the schools, and I think a lot of people haven't picked up. A lot of the schools that we have in San Francisco are not even up to code.
Right.
All right. Before COVID.
Right.
So they can't get certified to be sites because there's a lot of things going wrong with these schools that haven't been repaired, you know, have been ignored for years, you know, and the teachers, that's what the teachers are bringing up. Like, hey, I've been sharing bathrooms with the kids, which you shouldn't even be doing.
Right.
You know, they've been sharing bathrooms, sharing services. So that's crazy.
Well, that's why when I can't remember what her name was, when she started talking about how the after school programs had to be licensed.
Oh, yeah. Sharice.
When she started talking about that, it was just like, first of all, when they came at my program about being licensed, and they made us get licensed, they were like, everybody's going to be doing it. It's a new thing. It's going to be enforced. And then then she's talking about nobody was licensed.
No.
I was just like, this is crazy.
But Delia, and no disrespect to anybody of non-color on this, that is because you are a person of color, Delia.
Really?
Because I'm just going to be honest with you. When they came at me with the same thing, our guidelines, and this is what the movement and people just don't understand, you guys, our guidelines are totally different than other programs. And I'm just being honest with you. Delia, there's for DCYF, I was wondering, like, why am I always getting a site visit? Right? So I was complaining at a meeting one time, and someone was like, we've never had a site visit.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there like, I almost threw my phone down, right? I get a site visit for the food program. You know, I get a site visit like every 3 months. Like my program officer, oh, you guys are full in here. Yeah, we were full 90 days ago as well when you came.
Right.
Then I'm finding out like this is the only thing that's happening to African-American leaders in their programs. When I found that out, I brought that to Maria Sue, like, I'm tired of these site visits every 3 months. You know what I mean? I've been around 20 years. I don't need someone keep checking up on the program. If you want to come here, don't sit there with a pen and piece of paper writing down stuff. Join in with the program.
Yeah.
Like, don't make my kids feel like and my staff feel like they're being investigated.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, you're gonna find out a whole bunch of stuff via Zoom, Delia, that you and I have had to do that other programs haven't had to do.
That stuff needs to be called out. You know, I mean, how do we? I don't know how do the rest of us as allies call that BS out and help stop it?
Well, I will say that since Asha's come into office, he has called them out a bunch of times.
Right.
When I've just sent him a text message, hey, this just happened, and he's jumped on it.
Yeah.
Right. And he even she admitted, remember the town hall, and Asha was like, when I see stuff I like, I send you a message, Maria. He was referring to me.
Yeah.
Because I was like getting fed up with me having to jump through all of these hoops when I'm like, why am I having to meet all of these guidelines, strict guidelines, and walk in a straight line when other people and other organizations don't have that problem?
I think we're in that process of rectifying all the wrongs that have been done. It's just, you know, now we are in Zoom and we can see the faces and we can see that they're lying. And we can call them out on it. Even when we go to, when we had the town hall and they were mixing up OMI with other areas. They started talking about Lakeshore.
They call Lakeshore Lakeview. I sent her in the chat like, hey, listen, know your communities that you're funding. Like, this is not good. And then I get a text message, and Monica, so she's off the phone. I get a text message from Monica Chinchilla. She's on a call with Maria, and she's like, oh, every 5 minutes she keeps saying Renard and Youth First. Like we've been buddy. Like, no, this is not right. Monica's like, I know this isn't right. So she's like getting credit for like knowing people in the organization or in the community, and she doesn't know us.
Yeah.
And we have to be on top of these type of things. That's why I'm proud of what we're building. I'm very, excited for what we're trying to do. But if we don't continue to do the work, then it's just going to fall by the wayside. And they're going to continue to operate the way they've been operating.
Right.
Because everyone wants to get back to the normal, right? Get back to the normal. The normal is I can get away with what I normally do. And you guys can still follow the guidelines that we put in place for you. Right. So we don't want to get back to the normal, but we want to get back to something that we can attain and serve our community safely.
Okay. So we have, they did contact me. They want to meet at 1:00 tomorrow. Are you available? Anybody?
I'm flying out.
Yes.
Maria Sue with DCYF.
Yes. I know why, because she didn't hear what we said before when we were with Asha.
I guess
what
not.
What didn't she get?
I don't know.
I don't understand. Don't even come unless you got a check.
I like it, Mary.
Unless you're carrying a check.
I like
this
it.
This is ridiculous.
I've been waiting to inject something just when I heard someone earlier talk about in the PPE, and then that doesn't even come close to looking at the supplies to meet the COVID guideline.
Exactly.
And
very
it does not
expensive, and they're not giving you any extra.
The staffing that is required to meet such guidelines, that you have to clean a bathroom after every use, not just like every hour, but after every use. And the amount of hand washing that goes on in the facility, let alone with children, that if you're looking at CBO to take on those, I'm not saying I have to because I'm working closely with my partner, but those things wouldn't even come up. Right. And then who's going to be the one to clean and do all that cleaning before, during, every use, and after to keep the facility itself? And then I'm looking here like, because I'm standing in for Dr. Pierre because he said he wanted to allow the church to be used. Now, here's a church that sits empty Monday through Friday, and now we're going to have some programming 8 to 8 to 5 in a church and they're not even offering to pay the PG&E bill.
Right. When she said that yesterday, I was like, free of charge.
But the mayor gave what, $15 million to DCYF for this.
So yeah, how does that work?
Yeah, it doesn't add up.
So I asked the commissioner, Allison Collins, for what the process was going to be for that. And I was like, great, you got 15 million. Where is that going? How do we assure that that money is going to our southeast side schools to assure that they are able to provide services? Not every school has a thriving PTA that could, help them coordinate pods or get communication out about resources. So she said it's the commissioners have to be, prideful and really push that transparency with the board or with, their leaders or presidents. And also that needs to come from teachers or unions, or it needs to be people power to really push that transparency. So to have line items on what this 15 million is going to.
Exactly. Are you guys all familiar with the LCAP task force of the district, their local control accountability plan task force?
No.
It's more about state money than local SFU than local city money, but that's all the different parent advisory groups, a lot of different CBOs from the city, representatives from our visual and performing arts, but also all of our budget, like a budget analyst, the chief financial officer, Myung Lee, who's the chief of operations, or deputy superintendent for operations, he's there. These meetings are, now they're on Zoom, but it's usually it's on a Thursday. I can send everyone information, but this is where policy and data nerds like me sit and, actually it's a good inroad into getting to the people who actually develop the budget. Mm-hmm. So if anyone wants to join those meetings, I would highly encourage that, because
share that information.
Okay. But SFUSD is currently in a $23 million shortfall. So right. I think that this 15 million is really going to be plugging the holes in the dam. Yeah. And we need to really put our money where our mouth is. We keep talking about how we're going to prioritize equity, and we want to be an anti-racist school district. Yet in the budget that was proposed in June, we cut 38% of our African American Achievement and Leadership Initiatives budget. So how do those two things square with each other? You want to be anti-racist? Well, maybe we should put some funding back into our African American Leadership Initiative. How about that? Yeah. So that's a lot of the kind of stuff that, we're dealing with now in the district.
All right. There's a lot of good information in the chat. There's the budgets. There's the budget information. We have surveys. Please don't forget to fill out the survey for the ask, the 14,000 that we have been allocated from the MOHCD. And Nicholas provided information on the financial impact to reopening schools. I think that's nationwide. We have several things. It's a lot. Renard has asked that we move the meeting, the DCYF meeting, to 2:30. I'm gonna try to do that. We'll see what they say.
How do we get on that with you, Delia, that meeting?
I will invite you.
Okay, great. Thanks.
No problem. No problem.
If you can't move it, Delia, don't worry. You guys can keep me. You can keep me notified. I can check in with you guys afterwards. I just will be in the air at that time.
What time is Asha's meeting tomorrow?
It's usually is at 2.
So we should do it before that or after it?
Yes.
It's not an Asha's meeting tomorrow. They're taking this week off. They said there will be no CBO meeting on the 5th.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Claudel, did you want to say anything before we sign off?
Let me find you guys again. Not particularly, but I just wanted to let folks know about the census and the efforts that we are trying to do as far as the outreach. We have a census caravan scheduled, and that's going to be a citywide initiative where we're going to try to link, go through all the neighborhoods in the city on the same day, and that's going to be on the 22nd.
Right.
And also we're trying to still see about trying to do a concert, if that is going to be permitted, a social distance concert for census outreach as well. So far, I've got $1,000 from labor allocated to support to do the outreach in the Lakeview community. So hopefully I reached out to another organization. So what I'm basically doing is just reaching out to the folks that I know receive census funding and may have not have been able to do the outreach that they put on paper.
Okay.
Right? So I'm still circling the wagons. And then regarding your question about the census information, I've reached out to the community, San Francisco community partners. They had said that it was like a week ago, they said they had ran out. So I emailed them again to see if they had any new census literature that we could get over to you in the interim before we start everything. But I haven't received an email back.
All right. Very good.
All right. Uh-huh.
Thank you. Felicia, did you have your hand up?
I injected my stuff already, just talking about more than only the PPP, meaning mask and all of that stuff, but the labor and the intensity by which you got to do, you know, to keep things clean according to the guidelines is much more than even like at my center once in the morning and after lunch, but after every use and with children, that will be quite a bit.
Yeah.
Also, keeping children apart takes more staff.
Yeah.
Just the physicality of it. And particularly if you're in an outdoor environment where you want to be spread out. You know, resources are needed. It is doable, but it needs to be supported, clearly.
I agree.
Hey, hi everyone. I'm sorry, I'm going to shift this a little bit, but have we gotten anything or any information back from DPW? I know we had talked about just getting some data from them or a wish list for them.
So I reached out to Alaric, Laura. He emailed me back. I got to email him again because we were supposed to be starting the weekly, like, remember they were sending over teams to clean up, and that hasn't started as well. I know, Mary, that was one of your big issues and concerns as far as the cleanup. And he said he was going to start the team, but they haven't started it. So I'll send him an email once we get off of this call to see what's going on with all of that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a hot mess on Broad and Plymouth on Monday.
Yeah.
Near the bus stop there. I mean, there were just bags and bags and bags of trash.
Yeah.
Right.
And then there was also some up under the freeway underpass right there. A bunch of wood pallets and those type of things. And I got those removed, but I didn't go through Alaric to come pick those up. Mission Neighborhood Centers works along with DPW, and I had someone come by and pick that stuff up as well at the bottom, right by the 19th Avenue, right down the street I don't know if you guys saw the storage unit. Did you guys see all of that trash out there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You see it's gone, right? I got that removed.
Gone.
I got that removed, but those were special calls that I made, and it wasn't his team that came out. So we definitely got to get on that. It was just people coming to me like, Renard, did you see? I'm like, yes, I see it. I'm on it. So I actually stood there until they came and picked it up.
Good.
Perfect.
So I'm out there, y'all.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've been seeing a little more trash dumping, and I think it's maybe even an education piece. I don't know what we could do, but I don't want to keep picking up people's dumping because then that creates behavior. But I was just trying to strategize a little bit about what we could do.
It's just going to be hard, especially in our neighborhood. It's just going to be hard, Laura, because we do have the biggest population of college students living in the area, and they're constantly moving in and moving out. So, when the college students move out, you know what they do. I don't need this. I'm throwing it away. I'm done.
Right.
I've caught people dumping before, and it's been an ugly little scene. Like, come on, this is the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Take care of it. Like, but the dumping is just it's hard. And then you get, obviously we have the homeless population living in the campers and those type of things. So, and they're doing a lot of the dumping as well.
Right.
So it's just difficult. And then we get people from outside of our district, like, hey, they're passing through and they're looking for a place to dump their things, and that underpass under the freeway is like enticing to people. Like that's their spot, right? So if we can get something, especially right there, and then Clement and Broad, that area is definitely an area of concern.
Do you think if we worked with DPW or someone to have like once a month, bring it, drop it off, no questions asked, that would help?
Kind of, yeah.
I gave that idea to Alaric, and he says that they do have the community. We have that once, every 6 months or once a year type thing. I told him we need to pick that up. So he said he was going to check in with Larry and have that conversation. The one thing I do give Alaric after I gave him that really, really hard time, that time was, I really gave it to him. I didn't feel bad actually, but after we talked, he, I know the situation, with Muhammad, he was in that position and exactly all of the things that went on. So he's been thrown into the fire. Right. But like, you wanted the position, like get your fire extinguisher out and, get dirty. Like he said, he was going to be on these calls every Tuesday with us. So I know that once you say things and then you get sidetracked, so it's going to be good for like Laura. I'm glad she brought up for us to check in back with him so we can just make sure that our community doesn't get looked over.
Right.
Laura, there's another place that gets full dumping often.
Where's that?
It's a little outside the OMI, but it's at the corner of San Jose and Seneca. There's near the Balboa Bar.
Can you guys email it to me so I can make sure I have this conversation? If you guys, anybody on the call that has like an area of concern, just email it to me so I can make sure I have this conversation with Alaric.
I've actually seen people just dump big bags of. It's just always trash there.
And we got to make sure that they get into that 311 because remember they said that we had the lowest amount of incidents being logged.
The reason is because 311 doesn't respond, and a lot of people get discouraged. A lot of seniors tell me all the time that they call Wilma Davis, who lives across the street from the park. I know Miss Mary. I know you know who Wilma is. She says she calls. I mean, they know her on a first name basis down there, and I was one of those original dump sites at Merced Heights. They would come in the middle of the night and just dump at the park, right? So it's just the 311 doesn't respond really, Felicia, and that's what Alaric even admitted to us, that it just doesn't respond.
I get that, but if they're using that data to determine, even if, because I call Monica sometimes, Supervisor Safai, when they come and dump on the corner of Randolph and Arch, right there on the corner where the disabled platform is, like every week, that's a issue. I'm only saying we got to find some way, like you're saying, that we're even tracking it. So when they come and say there was only 10 calls, no, there were 100, but they were direct calls.
Right.
So that, because when people start using the data on you, we know that we're calling, but if it's not like through that 311 system and all they're using is data to determine manpower and hours and, crew.
It's like the census, right? You have to be counted. It all has to be counted.
Correct. So, I mean, I'm not saying take that on. I'm just saying that's what he used against us when we called, when he was on the thing. And he says, I pulled the report and you guys only had, 11 calls in 2 years kind of thing. And we know better, but they'll use that data on us.
Right. That's what they use, and you're right, Felicia. That's why they cut African American services in the schools, because they'll say, well, hey, it's only 5%. African Americans only make up 5% of San Francisco, so we can cut that, right? So you just don't know how big of a cut that is to our community, though, right? So that's what they do. They use data against us. You're accurate, 100% on that. They do use the data against us.
Oh,
Make sure you
okay.
get your licensing. Make sure you get your licensing.
Oh my.
I got another meeting. What do you got to say, Nicholas?
Oh, real quickly. You can also use the 311 app, which will provide you like updates on what happens and when it happens. So it does promote some sort of accountability that way. It's actually interesting. You can look on a map and see where all the requests are in the city, and you'll notice they're all centered in certain more prosperous neighborhoods or neighborhoods that have different makeups. And then also another piece about dumping. One component of it, at least here in the Excelsior, is there's been some household dumping where, I mean, I guess I'm not sure how it is with Recology. In the Excelsior along Persia, actually, some of the trash cans have been removed because people reported that people would like go and just dump their household trash there. And so they go and they do an investigation and they pick through and they see it's all household trash. So they remove the garbage can in the first place, which is kind of counterintuitive, but that should be looked at as well.
That's an ode to my father who refuses to pay trash service in Oakley.
Yeah.
And they went through the trash and found out that he was doing that.
Right.
Anyway, just being cheap.
Somebody's got to pay for it.
Yeah, somebody has to. Anyway, I appreciate you all. Let the fight continue.
Yeah, I'll be MIA for the next week, and then the following week, my son is headed off to college, and I got to go down to Texas and get him set up as well. So I'll be in and out, but I'll be available.
Is this his freshman year, or is this
freshman year? So I got one that's graduating. My oldest son is graduating college. And I got my youngest son getting ready to go in, start his freshman year. I got one more to go. I got my 10-year-old, and then I can close my eyes.
Yeah, right. I don't think so.
I know. It don't stop.
They
man.
come back, honey. They come back with extra people.
I know, but man, I can say I did my part. You don't have any excuses. I did my part. You have no excuses.
Always a parent. Always a parent.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take care and be safe.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Hey, and make sure I get that census information as well.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Bye, Ellie.
Bye-bye.